Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to be teaching you guys how to play Augran, one of the most if not the most broken hero ever released in any MOBA out there. Possibly you might have seen the earlier video that I posted, my first impression on him, and you saw how ridiculously absurdly broken he is. I can't find enough words to describe how strong he is, and he will be getting an immediate nerf, I think, or that should be the case. But anyways, the cherry on top is that he's very easy to play, and you just need to know a few things, and then you are good to go. So that is why I am here for you. I will be teaching you guys all about the abilities, the best build for him, how to engage with him in a team fight or even in a one-on-one situation, and we'll be covering all that in this video. So if you find this video helpful, make sure to support me by hitting the like, and if this is your first time in this channel, check out my other videos as well. We have a lot of daily videos for Honor of Kings, helpful videos, funny videos and whatnots, and if you find those entertaining and helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Now with all that being said, let us get right into the video. Alright, so let us start off with his passive. Unlike other heroes, his auto attacks form a chain between him and the enemy, and he will be constantly dealing damage for 3 seconds. So for every single auto attack of Augran to complete, it takes 3 seconds, and if you attack, you will form a link between you and that enemy. You will be slowly dealing some damage, and if you manage to stay in contact with them for 3 seconds, you will be dealing a burst of magic damage. So the initial damage is a little bit of physical damage, and after 3 seconds you deal a burst of magic damage. If you walk out of the range, it will be cancelled, so it is necessary that you stay with that enemy until the 3 seconds is over, or you will not be able to deal maximum amount of damage from his auto attacks. Now let us talk about the first ability. In my opinion, the first ability is his most powerful ability because it allows him to go across the entire map pretty much like Cyrus. So if you use it, he will build a bridge which is this long, and you will be able to ignore any terrain as long as you are traveling on that bridge. So you will be like Cyrus flying over. You will be walking on the ground, but you won't be affected by walls as long as you are on the bridge. So let me show you how it works. So if I use it from here, see, he has built a bridge. So if I go over the bridge, I'll be able to go up to the end of the first ability. So initially he will build a bridge. Let us turn off the cooldown. So initially he will build a bridge, and after that, it doesn't matter if you have a bridge or not, he just goes through everything. So right here you have one bridge, but doesn't matter, even if you don't have a bridge, you can still go over up to the end of the ability, and the distance is a bit glitchy in this one as well, like the usual HoK distance glitch. So even if it's like this, you can still cross the final wall as well. You can still cross here too, and then before the ability comes back, like goes into cooldown, you will be able to walk out as well. So for example, if you use it like this to go to the enemy red buff, you can go, and then you can also come back before the ability comes into cooldown. So let me turn off the cooldown and let me show you guys. So we are at level 7 and the ability is at level 3, but see what we are able to do. I just went in, took a look, and then maybe if the enemy jungler is attacking it, I can steal it and then also walk back out. So it's a very strong ability, and this ability also deals damage to enemies. So if you cast it, it will deal magic damage to enemies that you hit with it. And also there is a second form to this ability. As soon as I use it, you will see that it will be again on a blue color circle. Look at that, I have it, right? So what this means is my sword is at the end of that first ability, right? You will be able to see it. The sword is the one that opens the bridge. So the sword like draws the bridge and it will go and stand in the edge. If you click the first ability, he will, like Thor, like bringing his hammer Mjolnir back, this hero will be able to bring his sword back, and if he does, the bridge will disappear. Okay, so as long as the sword is out there, the bridge will be out there as well. So the bridge will be out there for a very long time, but if you bring the sword out, the bridge will go like disappear pretty fast. Okay, and also this is the normal speed at which the bridge is built, but if you actually use it over a wall or any terrain for that matter, the bridge will be built much faster. See, once it hits the wall, it will go very fast. So until you hit a wall with your first ability, it will be slowly drawing, but once you hit a wall, it will draw very fast. The reason why this is important is sometimes you have to get out very quickly, so you just draw it like this and immediately run away. If you guys one more thing that I have to mention is that whenever Augran climbs over a bridge, his movement speed is increased by 60%. So watch this. Even now my movement speed is pretty fast, right? When I'm walking on the bridge instead of walking on the ground, if I am flying over the bridge, my movement speed is very fast. But if I use it to go over a wall, it increases my movement speed by a lot. Watch this. As soon as I climb on that bridge, did you see that? It boosts my movement speed by a lot. So in order to do that, you need to draw the bridge faster as well. So if you are very close to a terrain, just use it like this and you will be able to immediately run away from that situation. So that is why the terrain giving you more movement speed and being able to draw the ability fast is important. Another use case for that is you need the second form of your first ability really fast. The reason for that is the first ability second form gives him a state called as seer state. Keep this in mind, it's called as seer state. In that state he will look a bit different. Watch, this is how he normally looks, but in the seer state he will be glowing. Now to enter the seer state I need to use my second form of the first ability. Look at that, I'm glowing, right? So this is the seer state. In this state he will be able to execute enemies that are below 10% HP. So let us turn on the enemy AI. Okay, so now Arthur is at full HP. Let me bring his HP down. Okay, alright, so right now I'm in my normal state, but if I enter my seer state now and then if I attack him, okay, now I'm in my seer state. If I attack him, once his HP bar goes below that 10%, he will just pick him up and smash him on the ground, instantly finishing him off. It's not just for heroes, it can also work with creeps. Let me show you that as well. So I attack, do some damage, then switch to seer state, and once the HP is low enough, he will just pick it up and smash it on the ground. If I'm not in my seer state, he will be constantly dealing damage as usual. So no extra damages, no picking up and smashing. Okay, so that is the seer state. So in the middle of a fight, you want to enter the seer state really fast. So you because the seer state will help you just one shot everyone, right? So for that reason, you might want to use the first ability through a wall, because only after the first ability draws the bridge fully, you will be able to get your sword back. Watch the first ability. Pay attention to my first ability now. As soon as I use it, it will be unavailable as long as the sword is drawing. Once the sword finishes drawing the bridge, the first ability will be available again to use. Watch this. See, I am not able to use it, but once it's fully drawn, I can then retract the sword. So for that reason, when you are in the middle of a fight, you want to use it over a terrain so that it immediately draws and you can get the sword back and start one-shotting everyone. Got it? The first ability is the most complicated ability. That is why I am spending a lot of time to explain it. Okay, and then there is one more thing about the first ability as well, and that is the second ability will help you draw a bridge. So watch this. I'll explain about the second ability in detail when we get to it, but right now just pay attention. So we have drawn a bridge, right? If I use my first ability here, it will again go very fast. So that second ability's bridge will be considered as a terrain as well, even though you will be able to walk through it. It doesn't like actually block anyone. Enemies can also walk through it. But if you want to use your first ability and be very fast with it, even if there is no terrain, you can use your S2 and then S1, and you will be able to retract your sword quickly and start attacking. So this is all about the first ability. It deals a lot of damage, and enemies who are very close to the first ability, like if you build a bridge, it increases his movement speed, right? But if an enemy is nearby, their movement speed will be reduced by a lot. Okay, so if you are in the middle of 4 enemies and you're trying to escape, just use the bridge and start running over it. Your enemies will be slowed down by a lot, but you will be able to run very fast and escape. So that is the most complicated ability of Augran in my opinion, and also the best ability of the hero. Now let us move on to the second ability. The second ability is all about healing, and it will also help you mark the enemies. Like I've told earlier, you will be drawing a bridge. If an enemy makes contact with the bridge, they will be marked, or you can directly attack them with that ability. Let me show you. So if you attack an enemy with it, on top of its head you can see the blue color mark, right? It means that you have marked them. And what that mark does is, basically if you have like 2-3 enemies together, let's say 3 enemies are together and you mark all 3 of them, right, your next auto attack will be able to deal triple damage. Like you will be able to attack 3 targets at once instead of your usual 1 target. So for that you need to mark them with your third ability. So all the marked targets to a maximum of 3 will be taking damage. So if you mark only 2, let me show you. So you mark only 2, you will still be dealing damage to the third one. But if you mark only 1, let me show you that. You will be dealing damage only to 2. So basically the mark works like this. You have 1 auto attack normally, and if you mark 1 enemy, you have the normal plus 1 extra. Okay, so if you mark 2, you will be able to attack 3. It's not 2 for 2, it's 2 for it's 3 for 2. Okay, and it's 2 for 1. If you mark 1 enemy, you have two attacks. If you mark 2 enemies, you have 3 attacks. If you mark 3 enemies, you don't have 4 attacks. 3 is the maximum. Okay, so this ability is all about healing. What that does is, whenever you are very low on HP, if you use the second ability, it doesn't matter if you use it on an enemy or not. If you use the second ability, your next auto attack is enhanced. If you use the enhanced auto attack, look at how much he is healing. From one target, for the next 3 seconds he'll be able to heal that much. Normally he won't be healing, right? But if you take damage and if you use the second ability, you don't even need to hit an enemy. If you hit an enemy, it's much better. Let me show you why. If you mark 3 and then if you attack 3, you will be healing from all of them. Look at that. That is the broken part about the second ability. It just heals him insanely in the middle of the fight. That is why buying anti-heal is very important against this hero. Look, if I lose like 75% of my HP, right, and then I can just mark enemies, and if they don't have anti-heal, simple, I'm back to pretty much full HP. How broken is that? So that is why the second ability is really powerful. It helps him survive in the middle of fights and also helps him mark enemies. Enemies who get marked will also take initial magic damage. So as you can see here, whenever I hit them, they take some magic damage too. See, like 400 magic damage. And one more thing is, against non-heroes, that is minions or creeps, you will also be able to push them. So as you can see, you can just swipe them out to the side in which you are like swinging your sword. Okay, so keep that in mind. You will be able to smash minions or creeps like with the second ability. It's not very important, but it is good to know. So that is all about the second ability of Augran. Okay, now let us talk about his third ability. It is a very interesting ability. He jumps up and then lands on the ground, smashing everyone, knocking all the enemies that he hits for half a second. So it's a knockback stun ability. You can use it to stun enemies. And the interesting part about it is, he will summon the spirit of your enemy and he will make the spirit attack the enemy. So watch this. If I use the ultimate on the puppet, I actually summon a puppet which goes and attacks the puppet. Can you see that? A spirit is attacking that puppet. If you do that with Arthur, look at that. We have another Arthur who is out there attacking for us. The catch is, these spirits will only be able to use their auto attacks. They will not be using their abilities or their passive or anything like that. But there are some things that I have found out which are really interesting about the ultimate. Oh, no. Okay, I didn't die. The ultimate can give you some HP regen as well. So if you use it on an enemy, 3200 HP just for hitting that one puppet. But if you manage to hit 2 enemies, watch what happens. You will be able to heal 50% extra. So it's like it will be around 4500. See, 4300 we were able to heal. But if I hit 3 enemies, I'll be able to heal double. So that is the maximum. Even if I hit 4 or 5 enemies, it won't change. 3 enemies is the maximum. So if I hit 3, let me take some more damage. If I hit 3 enemies with it, 5500. So double the amount of one enemy. Now the cool thing about Augran's ultimate is that even though it just summons the spirits of an enemy that only use auto attacks, for special heroes such as Mosi who have an enhanced auto attack every fourth auto attack, right? Watch what happens if I do it. The spirit of Mosi will be summoned, and it will be doing the enhanced auto attack as well, and the enhanced auto attack can also stun the enemy. So let's do that properly. So it has spawned 2, 3, and look at that. It is also stunning the enemy Mosi. So it can stun anyone. So basically what I'm trying to say is that all the special powers of an auto attack will be there, not just simple auto attacks. If that hero has an enhanced auto attack, that enhanced auto attack will also be there. Okay, so Mosi is a very fine example of that. Let me show you another example as well. This is a very powerful thing actually. With this stun against Mosi, then he's a very good pick because the spirit is untargetable. You can't kill the spirit, so as long as the spirit is alive, it can keep knocking back enemies. So it's a very good thing to have. All right, let me increase the build, and let's see if there is any change. Look at that. At full build, the Mosi is very fast. It almost did 3. It almost did 3, guys. 3 times it stunned. And it's just one enemy. You can use it on like 3-4 enemies and spawn 3-4 spirits that do different stuff. Let me show you another example of this. So another special case we have here, and this time it's with Dr. BN. So you all know that his auto attacks can poison the enemy, right? So let's see what happens if I ult him. Look at that. Our spirit Dr. BN also does the poisoning. So it's pretty simple now. So every special power of the auto attack will be given for the spirit as well. So yeah, look at that. It also deals magic damage, and even after it's gone, it will still be dealing the damage, right? He still has 5 stacks and he is still taking damage. See, so that is the power of the spirits. It will have all the powers of the auto attacks. It doesn't just do basic damage, it also has the power ups, and also the damage that you deal with these spirits is dependent on the physical attack damage of Augran himself. So doesn't matter what the enemy has built, their spirits won't deal more damage if the enemy has more equipment. If you have a lot of attack damage, you will be dealing a lot of, your spirit will be dealing, the spirit will be dealing a lot of damage. So right now it's dealing this much, right? But let me switch to an attack build and let's see what happens. Okay, let's go for a full attack build. Oh, I should be careful, I might die. Okay, let's switch to the attack build. Alright, so now we have an attack build. Let's see what we can do. Okay, let's heal him up, and if I use my ultimate now, look at that, our guy is actually critting, and he did finish him off. Last time he was not able to finish him off, but he was critting for 500 every time. And also keep in mind that this special power up also works with Alicio. You know that Alicio's auto attacks are area damage auto attacks, right? So if you use the third ability on an Alicio, you will spawn an Alicio spirit that will be dealing area damage as well. And if you build Augran full attack build, he'll be critting a lot, guys. He'll be critting 30%. Okay, so this is our attack build, and out of this build, 30% of physical damage will be dealt by our beloved spirits, the enemy spirits. So we are dealing, see, we are dealing 1500, and remember what the the spirit of Dr. Bian was dealing, it was dealing 500, right? So 1500, 30% is 500, approximately 473 it was dealing. So that is how much damage out of your physical damage that the enemy spirits will be dealing to the enemies. So the main part is all the enhanced auto attacks will be considered as well. So that is a very interesting thing that I found about his third ability. Now the last thing about his third ability is that it also grants him the seer state. If you guys forgot what the seer state is, you know that state where when the enemy's HP drops to 10%, below 10%, he will just one shot them, right? After you use your ult for 8 seconds, you will be in the seer state. See, he is glowing, right? So whenever he attacks anything, he'll just be one tapping it. When they are very low on HP, he'll just pick them up and smash them. So the first ability can give you the seer state for 4 seconds, but the ultimate can give you the seer state for 8 seconds, which is very, very powerful. Okay, so that is all about the abilities of Augran. Alright, now let me teach you guys how to engage with him in a team fight. So the first ability should be your initiator, and you use it over a terrain. Why? Because you will be able to immediately summon your sword back and start dealing your damage, right? So if the enemies are right here in the middle lane, use it in such a way that it goes through a terrain. Okay, so you use the S1, run over it, smash all the enemies that you can with your second ability, and then mark them. After that, if you use auto attacks, you will be healing a lot, and then click your first ability once again to enter into the seer state. And once you are in the seer state, you will just one shot them all. You know that, right? So let's showcase that. So you go. So that is how it works. If there are like 3-4 enemies and you also have your ultimate, you have to play it a little bit different. Let me show you that. These puppets won't die, that is why I'm not able to show you that properly. But in case you have your ultimate as well, it is the same technique. Try to use it over a wall, follow it, go in, second ability, and then ultimate, and after that you will just be entering into the seer state. As you can see here, it's not really very complicated. It's a very simple hero. That is why I said you just need to know a certain few things about his abilities, and that's about it. You have mastered him, and he doesn't have very complicated combos or anything. You just need to use the abilities properly to maximize it. So always use the first ability to over a wall so that you can summon the sword back immediately and start dealing that final hit true damage thing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. He's just very, very strong right now, so it doesn't really matter how you're playing him. You will be able to make him work. Right, so yeah, that's about the engaging and how to join a fights tips for you guys. Now let us talk about the builds. Alright, so the best build for him in my opinion is going to be this tanky build. The reason why we are going for a majority of tanky items in the build is that he doesn't have a lot of range, so he needs a lot of sustenance to be able to go very close to the enemy and still be able to do what he has to do. And you don't really need too much damage, because even if you are fighting against tanks, the only equipment you basically need is Doomsday. Doomsday will deal a lot of damage to enemies who are having a lot of HP. So initially you will be dealing a lot of damage to them, and then you will slowly be dealing lesser damage. But you all know that at 10% you just one shot them. So this is just the perfect build for him. In my opinion, he also has the Axe of Torment for that little bit of extra damage and the cooldown reduction. And I think in some cases you don't even need the Axe of Torment. You can instead go for you can remove this, and you can go for the defensive Eye of the Phoenix just to get some more healing, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is also a very viable build. But if you are winning and if you are dominating, if you want to end the match really quick, you can go for the Axe of Torment build itself. But if it gets to the late game, if you want to sell some item and get another defensive item, go for the Eye of the Phoenix, because it increases your healing and also gives you magic defense. Because right now we don't have any magic defense in our build, we only have armor. And in the late game you need magic defense if there is even one enemy mage. Okay, the attack build I haven't really tested it, but I can say pretty boldly that it's gonna be not as good as the tanky build, because the problem is the range. You don't really have any range with him. He has lesser range than your typical ranged hero, so you have to go very close to the enemy, and only if you survive for 3 seconds you deal maximum amount of damage. So if you go in and if you attack, and even before you complete one auto attack which takes 3 seconds, if you die before that, then there is no use of you. So tanky build is the key. That will help you kite enemies. If they are running, just attack and follow them. If you are being chased, attack and still run. You can just connect yourself with that enemy and you can constantly deal damage while you are running away. So there are things like this that you can do with him, and for that the tanky build is so much better. This is the Arcana. Let me just upgrade it because I will be using this hero. Okay, so we have Prosperity 10, Eagle Eye 5, Fortify 5, Inheritance 10. So physical attack, physical defense and magical defense, physical attack and physical PS. So it's basically, okay, also physical lifesteal. So we have some lifesteal, some magic defense, physical defense, and some what is this? Physical attack. Okay, so it's like a very good set, and this is what I will recommend for you guys as well. So try this Arcana, try this build. This is going to be the best build for Augran in my opinion. Okay, so that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you all found this video entertaining and helpful, and if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have a really great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.